What's up, guys? Do you ever get so frustrated with what you're doing? And you're like trying to read and you're reading it over and over and over and then you keep reading it over and over and over again. And then at the end you're like thinking about how ticked your mom's gonna be, like that you didn't do the freaking dishes or something. I totally get your pain, man. I tried to research this predicament and found myself in the predicament. With nonsensical nonsense about things that somebody my age would never understand, I missed many. How do you expect us to understand anything? But fortunately, I found some awesome strategies, some really cool websites. In the next 5 minutes, I'll totally find a problem to your solution. And also get a look at what happens in my head. Okay, so while researching, I found a place called a Cook's Counseling Center, and this place is like everything. But what stood out to me the most was a link called Strategies for Improving Concentration and Memory, I believe it was. And when you click the link, there's like an activity that like pops up, and what happens is right off the bat they have like this list of words. It was like 10 or so, and what you do is you just look at the words. They ask you to look at the words and then just go to the next page, and then surprise, next time you go to the page they want you to name as many as they can. And this is an activity that is actually used in classes like ours to help us memorize and concentrate while we're reading and writing and stuff like that. Trying to pay attention to this was really difficult because there are like little flashing rainbows on the side, and it was pretty awesome. But I had finally eventually gotten the attention span to buckle down and pay attention, but by the time I'd gotten the piece of paper out, it was like 3 to 5 minutes later. And I'd forgotten all the words. As I continued to study this and practice it over time, I actually remembered all the words. Like, they were like, I can name 5 right now. It was like rabbit, tree, bear, light, laugh. And I did it like a week ago. So it actually really is great. It's definitely trial worthy. I would definitely give it a chance. After I found out about the Cook's Counseling Center, I found out about another website called the Academic Success Center. And they had an article titled Concentrate While Studying and Reading. And in this article, they had a lot of quotes and visual diagrams, and it's very interactive. And they asked you a question, what is reading anyway? Something that when you heard at first you're like, really? They followed it with questions and phrases like, how do I act or think when I'm reading? So it's very, they really like pick it apart, and it's very interactive. It's very good. When you go down the page, you follow other links, and there are like hundreds of these things to like other study sites and everything like that. And then looking for good reading comprehension, I figured you need a lot of good study habits to go along with them, which led me to the next, a link named Aspire. Well, it's actually not named Aspire. There's just the acronym Aspire. But this link is at studyguides.net, which is actually studygs.net. And it starts off with a really like weird quote by this guy named Thomas Hobbes. Study is nothing else but a possession of the mind. It was really kind of confusing at first, but then I thought, whatever. At least it got me thinking. The acronym spells out words like approach for A and study for S. And it goes through all these guidelines to things that you can do for better reading comprehension, the way you approach a text, and studying, the way you would approach a test, or getting better at that test. So it's very, very mind-ish. So now I guess it's time for me to use some of my new smarts given to me by Miss Beto. What up, Miss Beto? I'm actually going to use one of the classifying things, where it determines what you like and how you would probably use your learning style. If you're like sporty Vinu, who likes soccer and is like pumped up and everything right now, you could probably use, if you're like fashionista Vinu, who likes art and crazy cool things and music and stuff, you can probably use. And if you're like textbook Vinu, who does everything by the book in science or math, or like her awesome sauce classes, Peace.
We cut the legs off of our